Welcome my fellow weeaboos and superhero fans to my MCU vs DCU Strength and Power tier list. In this video I'll be comparing the characters from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and DC Extended Universe in terms of strength and power. With the exception of a few characters, I tried to keep this down to only the main characters of the movies and TV shows, along with villains from team-up movies. If I didn't do that, there would just be way too many characters, and there would be large portions where I would have to justify why one character from the same verse is above another. I've already made separate MCU and DCU lists and will not be going over inverse scaling in this video. If you want reasons why one MCU character is above another or why one DCU character is above another, I recommend watching those videos. The human tier is for characters at the regular human level. Happy Hogan's above your average man. Steve Trevor is a skilled soldier that consistently took down other trained soldiers. Nick Fury takes down alien threats on the regular. The elite human tier is for humans so skilled and or tough they can mow through regular people. Harley has the power of crazy, which is a true force to be reckoned with. The Punisher has more powerful weaponry and is pretty crazy himself. Rick Flag is about as elite as a soldier can get. He can consistently one-shot kill people with a strike and can hold his own with Peacemaker. The Superhuman tier has characters that have superhuman qualities to them. Daredevil has the power of being blind, enhanced non-vision senses. Hawkeye's near equals with Black Widow and almost never misses a shot with his arrow. Deadshot likewise never misses his shots, but bullets travel faster than arrows. Black Widow is similarly skilled with guns, but has superior hand-to-hand combat showings and powerful gear like her Widow Bites that can even stun super soldiers. I've made a previous Black Widow vs Harley Quinn video where I said Harley would win, but I've changed my mind. In a pure melee, I still think it would be close, but Black Widow just has better gear, training, and is far more versatile. The Black Widow and Thunderbolt movies also made me realize she scales closer to super soldiers than I thought. Peacemaker is the physically strongest in this tier, but what really puts him at the top are his helmets. Nobody here is surviving one of his shockwaves. The Super Soldier tier is for characters on par with super soldiers. Ms. Marvel has the least combat experience, so she's at the bottom. Peter Quill has the best gear, but is physically the weakest. Captain America, the poster boy for super soldiers, has concrete crushing, truck flipping strength, and his combat ability is elevated by his nearly indestructible vibranium shield. Batman is not quite as strong, but still has low superhuman level strength feats. His suit's bulletproof, and his gear is second only to Star-Lord's in this tier. He managed to evade Doomsday's onslaught, and an alternate version of him outmaneuvered and KO'd Namek, a powerful Kryptonian. A fight between him and Cap would be close, and I could see it going either way. But if we allow for Batman's armored batsuit, I would definitely lean towards him. Moon Knight has power at least equivalent to a super soldier's, plus he's basically unkillable. He'll be able to match Batman and outlast him. The low superhero tier is for characters above the level of a super soldier. Spider-Man was once super soldier tier, but now that he has some experience, his above super soldier level strength and speed should allow him into this tier. The other two Spider-Man variants should be in this tier as well. Starro is probably too big and powerful for Spider-Man to take down. Loki has physical strength beyond a super soldier, and while he might not be stronger than Starro, considering he survived the Hulk beatdown and a massive explosion, I don't think Starro will be able to easily put him down. Loki's magic can launch small buildings back, so he probably has the magical might to eventually kill Starro. If he has the Mind Stone Scepter or Odin's Staff Gungnir, I definitely think he can kill the overgrown starfish. Ironheart's still a novice, but with her current magical enhanced suit, she's probably at least relative to early Iron Man, who is superior to Loki. Her range and weaponry would likely allow her to beat Starro as well. Black Panther would be too durable to put down with his vibranium suit, and with his stored up shockwaves and vibranium claws, this cat is having starfish for dinner. Deadpool likewise is essentially unkillable and has adamantium swords that will chop through Starro like butter. Blue Beetle with his flight and adaptable weaponry would likely be too much for the four below. She-Hulk as a Hulk is likely stronger than Blue Beetle. He's gonna have a problem putting her down without getting close, and if he gets close, I think she'll end up overpowering him. The mid-superhero tier is for characters with considerable superhuman strength to the point the best and most well-equipped regular humans and even super soldiers really have no chance of putting up a good fight against. Agatha is a powerful witch, but her true power is hard to gauge since the only powerful scalable person she fought was Wanda, and she directly countered her. Shang-Chi has elite-level martial arts skills, and with the 10 rings can output high levels of concussive force. Like Agatha, he doesn't really have many direct feats to clearly get him higher. Cyborg has more impressive destructive showings. Aquaman likewise has more showings, and has fought alongside and against characters in the tiers above. His submarine feat is pretty impressive as well. Shazam is definitely more impressive than Shang-Chi based on current visual feats, but if Agatha could drain his magical power, she would definitely have a shot at beating him. Ultron may end up getting powered up by lightning in a similar manner Iron Man was when he was hit by Thor's lightning, which would make him extremely difficult for Shazam to put down. That would make the fight turn into a slugfest, and I don't think Shazam has the punching power to say he can defeat a vibranium robot on steroids. The Hulk has the best strength feats of any character in this tier by far. Regular Hulk might end up losing to Arthur due to lack of intelligence and skill, which could lead to Aquaman stabbing him fatally with his trident, but Professor Hulk would have the skill and intelligence to avoid this, which would result in his greater strength coming out on top. Maybe if Shazam stays in the air and just fires lightning at Hulk, he could win like Thor did, but Hulk can jump really high, and as a kid, Billy would probably freak out when he sees this raging green monster flying at him. Iron Man has shown fighting power comparable to, if not superior to the Hulk, performing better against Thanos and matching Hulk directly with his Hulkbuster armor. Like I said, Shazam would just power him up, and if Thanos could barely break through his armor, what hope does Billy have? Aquaman would be at a severe disadvantage due to Iron Man's aerial superiority. Cyborg's an interesting one, as when it comes to fighting power, I would say Iron Man is just a cyborg with more and better showings. But if Cyborg can use his hacking ability to get into Iron Man's suit, he would win. The high superhero tier is for characters with godlike power. Ant-Man, while giant, could literally stomp on someone who could give Iron Man a run for his money, which is the most clear evidence we can get he's a level above. Not only that, in Quantumania he got even bigger and basically became the size of Godzilla. If raw power doesn't work, he can shrink and try to attack his opponent that way. Doctor Strange may not have the most raw power. In fact, raw power-wise he's the weakest in this tier and would probably be in the tier below. But he makes up for that in versatility. His magic allowed him to somewhat hold his own against Thanos using 4 Infinity Stones. Not only that, he has an Infinity Stone himself, the Time Stone. Underneath all his magic, he's still just a regular man, and the likes of 𝗵𝗵𝗲 has taken advantage of this and gotten the better of the Doctor. For this reason, the faster-than-light Flash should easily be able to blitz and defeat Doctor Strange. Wonder Woman's incredible combat speed should allow her to do the same. Ant-Man would be harder to put down, but Diana's sword should do the trick. And Flash would never be touched, so at worst he would just outlast Scott. Icarus is basically Superman light. He's shown he can deal with speedsters, and I don't think the Flash has the strength to put him down, so he'd likely overcome Barry. Diana's still a major threat due to her sword. Hand to hand I would definitely give it to Icarus, but I could see a strong argument for Wonder Woman. Since Icarus could beat Athena, who is basically the Wonder Woman of his crew, I would side with him. The way he parted those clouds on the way to flying to the sun was pretty crazy as well, and far more impressive than anything Diana has shown. Vision is another flying laser shooting entity. His body's made of vibranium, so he should be more durable than Icarus, and even harder for Diana to cut down. Not only this, but he can become intangible, which will make him almost impossible to defeat. His laser's likely stronger too, considering it comes from an Infinity Stone. Black Adam should be able to blitz and put down Doctor Strange, and we've seen he can take out giants as well, so Ant-Man shouldn't be a problem either. Black Adam is not only extremely fast, but has the raw power to back it up. This gives him the edge over Icarus in my opinion, who's somewhat lacking in impressive combat feats. I don't see Black Adam struggling against deviants like he did. Vision would be nearly impossible for Black Adam to defeat in hand-to-hand combat, but his lightning magic could stun Vision, allowing him to take the victory. Considering electricity from Hawkeye could do the trick, I would back Black Adam. Dark Flash with Kryptonian metal stuck in him can just blitz and kill everyone in this tier. Perhaps other than Vision, as the Kryptonian metal might not be strong enough to penetrate vibranium. The Team Buster tier is for characters that can take on groups of heroes due to their sheer power. Steppenwolf and the 𝗏𝗏 are here for reasons mentioned in my DCU tier list video. Thor with Stormbreaker should be able to disorient Steppenwolf long enough to get a good axe swing in. Of course by now, Thor has learned to go for the head. He would probably just throw Stormbreaker right through the 𝗏𝗏's skull. Thanos with his weapon and armor is basically just a better Steppenwolf. He would probably actually have more difficulty with the 𝗏𝗏 than Thor due to his lack of flight, but Thanos is extremely durable and I don't think the 𝗏𝗏 will be able to put him down, so eventually Thanos would win. Superman vs Thor or Thanos would be the battle of the century, but I think Superman's greater combat speed would give him the edge. If Thor stuns him with lightning, a well-placed Stormbreaker strike could definitely end the fight in Thor's favor, but Superman could also try to take the weapon from Thor similar to what Thanos did. Doomsday can have a limb cut off, but he'll just grow it back and get stronger with all the damage he takes. Unless Thor and Thanos make sure to go for the head before he reaches full power, Doomsday should beat them. Superman may be powered by the sun, but Captain Marvel powers suns. And what if it was stated her punch has the power of 10 nuclear bombs, and we saw what a singular nuke could do to Superman. Captain Marvel would fly right through the 𝗏𝗏 like she did to Thanos' ship, or how she flew through the freaking planet in What If. Superman has a similar feat of flying through the world engine while being oppressed by gravity and weakened by kryptonite, which is far more impressive than flying through Thanos' ship, but probably less impressive than flying through a planet. Sentry's supposed to be stronger than all the Avengers wrapped into one, and even though we haven't seen much from him yet, if the Void comes out, everyone below him will just become a shadow. The Unstoppable tier houses one of the most unstoppable characters from each verse. Revived Superman after getting a supercharge from the sun was able to humiliate an enemy compared to his previous self. His dominance over Steppenwolf is far more apparent than Carol's advantage over Thanos or Thor in their fights, so based on the scaling in this list, I'm putting him a level above her. However, if you want to argue Carol still has the better feat of revitalizing a star, I wouldn't fault you for putting her higher. But consider how she also fought alongside Ms. Marvel and Monica Rambeau against some powered up Kree woman and was relative in combat speed to all of them. That's really not a good look for her. And let's not forget the version of Captain Marvel who died from a statue falling on her. I think with consistent scaling, this version of Superman should be able to beat the brakes off Captain Marvel. Clark would probably speed blitz and snap Sentry's neck before he could send him to the Shadow Realm. Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, is too much even for Superman. He may outclass her in physical strength and speed, but her magical ability is far too dangerous. While possessing another version of herself and not even at full power, she was able to overpower and kill a version of Captain Marvel alongside multiple other heroes. If raw magical might doesn't work out, she can just take away Superman's mouth, eyes, nose, ears, whatever she wants. If for some reason manipulating Superman's body is too difficult due to how strong he is, she could always just enter his mind and kill him with a mental attack. All in all, I believe Wanda can defeat anyone in the DCU. But wait, there's another tier. The cosmic tiers for the beyond planetary to universal threats of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not going to go over them here, as you can learn about them in my other MCU videos, but their powers leagues beyond anything in the DCEU. Maybe the DCU would have had entities that strong if it kept going, but with it being replaced by the DCU, that will probably never happen. The DCEU is forever doomed to be beneath the MCU in power, but maybe the DCU has a chance. Once the DCU gets enough content to make a strength and power tier list on, I will of course do that. And afterwards, I'll make an MCU versus DCU strength and power tier list. That's of course assuming this video does well. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and send the video to all of your superhero fan friends. The whole shebang.